which means now, granted, we got the Hamas-Palestine conflict on the flip side, but if it wasn't for that, right now, the case would be made for the Fed to hike again at the next meeting. It would, 100%. But now, since you have the Israel-Palestine conflict, and then you have the long end of the curve rising, which is doing some tightening for the Fed, and I'm talking about yields on the long end of the curve, there's a good chance that they will pause. But let's say if they were to hike again, obviously, once again, going back to liquidity, that's less liquidity in the market for risk assets. And we've been talking about crypto this entire episode. And so, I think that's another, I guess, downside catalyst or a headwind for crypto. And just to I like providing these little snapshots. So, Rite Aid files for bankruptcy, lots of focus on the Fed's next decision in papers, articles, video, everything. Everyone's focusing on what the Fed's going to do in the business world, at least. Treasury issuance is not as hot as our government would like. 18% of treasuries that were issued at the last auction, it was like 18.2% of that was bought by primary dealers. So they were bought by investment banks. And so that shows you weakening demand in the treasury market, which, why yields have been rising so sharply. And even though in the last couple of days we saw yields kind of drop, as of today, they're back to the upside. And I want to say the 30-year was at like 4.8 this morning. And so people are losing confidence in the in the long term of our economy, and it shows in the long end of the curve. And so bond prices obviously will fall long term, which will continue to push yields up. And that's why, we might see some yield curve control on the long end from the Federal Reserve as well, which means we're tightening even more. And so it's like at this point, damn near, everything that I've been looking at points to tighter liquidity conditions, which means that stocks and any other risk asset like crypto, for example, it's just more downside to come. I don't care what happens between now and then, but it will happen. And that's the only thing I'm certain on, not the timing at all. But the only thing I'm certain on is that we have more downside, so we will have more buying opportunity. So yeah, I guess that's where I'll leave that.